Svetlana Toryanek, 81, from Kharkiv, plays crosswords as she lies down at the gym-turned shelter in Lviv, Ukraine, March 19, 2022. Reuters. Zora Ben-Semra. A woman sits in a tent in a metro station that is being used as a bomb shelter in Kyiv, Ukraine, March 18. Reuters. Thomas Peter. A man who fled Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine waits for his family to board the train heading to Poland at the train station in Lviv, Ukraine, March 19. Reuters. Zora Ben-Semra. People stand next to a car after they fled from Mariupol, in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine, March 19. Reuters. Stringer. A woman is wrapped in a blanket in a subway train that is stationary in a metro station being used as a bomb shelter, in Kyiv, Ukraine, March 18. Reuters. Thomas Peter. A view shows a line of cars near destroyed blocks of flats to leave the besieged port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. Vladimir Galinkov packs his belongings to evacuate his damaged apartment after his residential building was hit by an intercepted missile, in Kyiv, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Thomas Peter. People wait outside an immigration office after fleeing from Ukraine to Belgium, in Brussels, Belgium, March 15. Reuters. Eve Herman. A local resident who seeks refuge in the basement of a building in the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 18. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. Evacuees walk out of the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. A woman uses her mobile phone as she sits inside a bus after she crossed the border from Ukraine to Poland, at the border checkpoint in Medyka, Poland, March 17. Reuters. Zora Ben-Semra. Evacuees fleeing the conflict sit in the body of a cargo vehicle while waiting in a line to leave the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. Men pull carts while walking past a line of cars with evacuees in Mariupol, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. A Ukrainian woman and her family sit in a taxi with the colors of the Ukrainian flag upon arriving in Madrid with a group of Spanish taxi drivers who drove to Poland to support the mass evacuation of refugees, in Madrid, Spain, March 17. Reuters. Susanna Vera. Yulia Vigraniak, from Mykolaiv, cries as she holds her dog, following their arrival by ferry after fleeing Ukraine, at the Isakia-Orlivka border crossing, Romania, March 14. Reuters. Spoyanenov. People walk after crossing Polish border at the border checkpoint in Medyka, Poland, March 19. Reuters. Kacper Pempel. Evacuees walk out of the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. A conductor looks at the train tracks as refugees fleeing Ukraine to Romania board trains, in Suceava, Romania, March 15. Reuters. Clodagh Kilcoyne. People are seen inside an evacuee bus as they flee from Mariupol, in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine, March 19. Reuters. Stringer. People flee the Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in Bucha, Ukraine, March 12. ICRC handout via Reuters. Local residents, seeking refuge in the basement of a building, are seen in the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. Evacuees fleeing the conflict sit in a damaged car as they wait in a line to leave the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. A man carries a bird after fleeing Mariupol, in Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine, March 19. Reuters. Stringer. Local residents, seeking refuge in the basement of a building, are seen in the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. A Ukrainian refugee cries as she says goodbye to a family member traveling to Budapest after arriving from the border with Ukraine, at North Railway Station in Bucharest, Romania, March 14. Reuters. Edgar Garrido. A man with a cat evacuates from a building damaged by shelling in Kyiv, Ukraine, March 18. State Emergency Service of Ukraine via Reuters. Lisa, 21, kisses her daughter Lee, 6 months old, from Sloviansk, Donetsk Oblast, while playing at a temporary accommodation, in Rzeszów, Poland, March 16. Reuters. Fabrizio Bench. Evacuees sit in the body of a cargo vehicle while waiting in a line to leave the besieged southern port city of Mariupol, Ukraine, March 17. Reuters. Alexander Ermoshenko. People flee to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in Bucha, Ukraine, March 12. ICRC via Reuters.